Next thing you know, I was on a stretcher being wheeled into a helicopter, flown to Anchorage. Hi, my name is Glenn Godfrey. I'm one of the coaches here at CrossFit Unshaken, and I want to share my story of why CrossFit is so important in my life and why I tell everybody about it, because that's what CrossFitters do. Way back in about 2015 in Soldotna, Alaska, I got involved in CrossFit. I saw one of my buddies in the gym working out, doing all this crazy stuff, and he invited me in to give it a try. I did one class. I was hooked. Ever since then, I've been involved in CrossFit, almost coming upon 10 years. In 2018, I've been doing CrossFit for about 3 years. I started having some really bad heartburn issues, and I started going to the clinics, trying to get figured out what was going on. They would bring me in, run some tests, give me some prescription medication. Wouldn't work, so they put me on a different one and a different one and a different one. This was October, November of 2018. On Christmas Eve morning, we did a workout at the gym called the 12 Days of Christmas. It's a fun partner workout. I was doing it with my daughter, JoJo. Not meant to be too strenuous or too tough. It should have been a really easy workout for me. About 5 minutes into the workout, I couldn't continue. I had to sit. I remember sitting on a box, staring at a wall, and just concentrating on my breathing, trying to get that heartburn to go away. It was so intense, so bad. Several people came and checked on me that day. Eventually it went away. It went away enough that I got a picture of my daughter, JoJo, you can see right here, after the workout. And we had fun, went home, told my wife about it, Tracy, and she was concerned as always and kept prodding me to go to the ER, but you know, I don't want to go to the ER for gas. I don't want to be that guy. That night at our Christmas Eve service at our church, I was working the sound booth, one of the things I like to do at church. The pastor looked at me and said, "Hey, you don't look good." And I was slumped over the board. I said, "Yeah, I've been having this heartburn thing." And he gave me one of his Alka-Seltzer things to take, and it seemed to help a little bit. So I was pretty happy about that. Got through the night, but I went home and Tracy could tell I still wasn't great. So she made me promise if it wasn't better on Christmas Day, which was tomorrow, I'd have to go to the ER, which was close by her house. So I made her a promise that I would. Got up Christmas Day morning. Didn't feel terrible, but I certainly didn't feel great. I could still feel a little bit of pain. We discussed it, and I told her, hey, after the kids eat presents, I'll walk over to the ER. It's only a couple blocks from my house. And you can cook Christmas dinner, and I should be home in a bit. Figuring again, they're going to give me some heartburn or gas medication. I'd be home in a bit. Side note, Christmas Day, best day ever to go to the ER. They're in a good mood. Nobody's there. I got right into the ER. I got right into the emergency room, set me up. They put an IV in me, said, you're probably a little bit dehydrated. We're going to go ahead and give you an IV. They ran a few tests, and then I remember the doctor saying something along the lines that it could be a spleen or liver issue. They kind of track sometimes like heartburn. 20 minutes into that visit, all of a sudden I had a second nurse come in the room. She was bringing a cart, and she went to my right arm and started putting an IV in. Then they started sticking a second IV in my left arm, and I'm going, hey, what's going on? I was texting Tracy, and I had to put my phone down. And the doctor poked his head in and he said, Glenn, you've had a major heart event. Actually, probably multiple major heart events. Very concerned. I called the surgeon in Anchorage, got a consult, and we need to get you to Anchorage ASAP. I've ordered a helicopter. We're going to medevac you to Anchorage. You need to get into surgery right away. Obviously, I was shocked. I mean, my whole world just flipped upside down right then and there. I remember texting Tracy. All I could text was come. That was it, because they were sticking things in me, and the room was filled with people. I was like, what is going on? So I just texted the word come, and she showed up a few minutes later. Tracy was in the room. Our pastor and his wife were in the room. There's about 7 or 8 people in there. They're all looking at me. A couple times I almost passed out because of the medication they gave me. Within half an hour, 45 minutes after they warmed the helicopter up, because it was winter and it was freezing, but next thing you know, I was on a stretcher being wheeled into a helicopter, flown to Anchorage. So I got to Anchorage, got lined up for surgery. When I met with the surgeon, I told him that I had worked out the morning prior and that, you know, I'd been going around doing things. It wasn't that bad. It's just a little bit of a heartburn issue. And he said, well, you probably have a little bit of blockage in there. We're going to go ahead and go clean that up. It's affecting you a little bit. Shouldn't take long, less than an hour. Hour and a half at the most, I think is what he said. I ended up going to the surgery a few hours after that, and I was in surgery for about 4 hours. I was awake the whole time. I remember most of what they said. I remember when I got out of surgery, the surgeon came into the room. We just got done. He took down his mask. He goes, I was shocked. The fact that you were working out the day before, I just assumed you had a little bit of blockage. I didn't expect to see what I saw. You had 99% blockage on your left side. You had what we call the widowmaker. Most people, when they have that, can't do anything. He then proceeded to tell me, The fact that you were in such good shape and your heart was so strong is what saved your life. If I hadn't been doing CrossFit, the exercise I choose to do, and just been weightlifting or something like that, it probably would have been a much different outcome. It was so bad that I had to stay in the hospital for an extra couple days so he could go back in and check out the right side of my heart, which was devastating. I just wanted out of there. I got to tell you, as soon as they cleaned that heart out, I felt amazing. After the first surgery, I felt amazing. I felt like I could go back to working out right then and there. Obviously, I didn't. I wanted to, but I didn't. So one thing you need to know about me is I'm a Christian. I'm a follower of Christ. All my steps are led by God. I believe He puts me in situations that I can walk through, gives me opportunities, and I think this was one of those opportunities. I think God opened my door to CrossFit. I made some lifelong friends. They helped me, I helped them. It helped my heart, as I just shared with you, and I believe it can help you too. Even if you don't do CrossFit, do some kind of exercise that gets your heart up, elevated, working and then relax, working and relax, and try new things. CrossFit for me is exciting. It changes every day. Every workout's different. You make lifelong friends. It's easy to get motivated. It's easy to be in the gym, and it could save your life like it did mine. So about a year ago, I decided to become a coach. I've been doing CrossFit for about 7 years, figured about time. And I like to share this story with anybody I can. I know it's a little bit long, but hopefully you got a little something out of it. Hopefully this story motivates you a little bit. You get up off your couch, come on in. And I promise, if you come to one of my classes, I'll take it easy on you, at least for the first month or so. See you soon.